Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts video. And tonight I thought we would take a deep dive into some of my favorite digibooks and media books. So I do have them kind of, it looks like a mess on my bed, but it's an organized mess. I have some non-horror titles here in this pile. I have some that have never been opened before. We're going to open those tonight. And I have kind of a ranking of my favorite covers. We're going to go from, I think there's about 30 here. I'm not going to count them down, but we're going to go from my, I guess, least favorite to my number one favorite. And stick around if that interests you. We'll check out these media books and digibooks, and we'll look inside and we'll go through the contents. So get yourselves relaxed, get a beverage and a snack. The girls are here. It's July 3rd. We're in chill mode. And let's get into these digibooks. So earlier tonight, I was doing a little cleaning, a little rearranging, a little organizing in my back bedroom. And I decided to pull out some of my favorite digibooks. And I've gone through these before, but we've never really done a deep dive. I just showed you the titles and everything on the shelves. But in this video, I'm going to kind of go through a little bit more, show you a little bit of the inside of all of these and just how beautiful these things really are. And like I said, these are kind of like my non-horror pile. And these are in no particular order, but these are movies I really like, and I think these are really cool looking digibooks. This is the original Clash of the Titans. You can see it has kind of like a foil cover. And this is a great movie. I think it was from 1981. And this digibook came out in 2010 with special effects by Ray Harryhausen. An excellent movie. I like the remakes too, but this is the OG. This is where it all started. And you can see, what's his name? I almost said Mark Hamill, but it's Harry Hamlin. Mark Hamill's from Star Wars, of course. Ursula Andress is in here. Burgess Meredith, Maggie Smith. Sir Laurence Olivier was also in here. And you can see some of the characters. There's Medusa. There's the Kraken and Pegasus. It's a really nice digibook. In the US, we call these digibooks, but in Europe, they call them media books, or at least in Germany they do. I'm not sure if all of Europe calls them media books, but really great characters. Pretty much a timeless movie too. You can watch this anytime. She was beautiful. Andromeda. There's Sir Laurence Olivier. He played Zeus. There's Maggie Smith. She was in the Harry Potter movies. There's Ursula Andress. She was Aphrodite. And there's Burgess Meredith. Played Mickey in the Rocky franchise. And there's the master himself, that's Ray Harryhausen, who was the stop motion just guru. I mean, he made a whole career out of stop motion. He was great. Some of the poster art. This is with the the remake looked like. I do have this as well, but I don't have a digibook of it. But those are pretty fun movies too, but it doesn't really stack up to the original. So that's the first one, Clash of the Titans. I guess we better go a little bit quicker, or this is going to be a very, very long movie, video. This is Deliverance from 1972, starring John Voight and Burt Reynolds. And this is not really a horror movie, but it definitely does have horror elements. This is a very good suspenseful movie, kind of a backwoods nightmare type movie, directed by John Borman. And this digibook came out in 2012. Also had Ned Beatty, and you may remember the line, "Squeal like a pig," and the dueling banjos, the Banjo Boy. And this was a very chilling, and it's also a very beautiful movie. The footage is very beautiful, but the topic is very dark. I think this is one of Burt Reynolds' better movies, and he's had a huge career. He's had some great movies. This is one of my favorites of his. Look how young these guys were. Go through every single page of every digibook. I just want to kind of give you an idea of what they look like in case you want to pick any of these up for your collection, or maybe you have these already. Very good movie, Deliverance from 1972. This is probably my #1 favorite movie of all time. I have a lot of favorites, but I think this one may be the top. And this is Goodfellas, Martin Scorsese film. It's got a top-notch crew of cast. You got Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci, based on the real life of Henry Hill. Just an outstanding movie from 1990. And this digibook came out in 2010. And it has an outstanding soundtrack as well, too. Comes with a DVD of a documentary called Public Enemies, The Golden Age of Gangster Films. And that's it right there. You can see the, I think that's the Brooklyn Bridge. I got to know the real Henry Hill at the end of his life, and had a friendship and a correspondence with him, and he had sent me several things over the years. If you guys are interested in seeing some of the things that he sent to me, let me know and I'll record a video of it. I did early in my YouTube career, air quotes career, hobby. I did record a video of it at one time, but it's been many, many years. And if I remember, not too many people watched it. So there's Lorraine Bracco. She was really great in the movie. But if you guys are interested in seeing what Henry sent to me, he sent me some pretty funny things, some pretty cool things. There's Scorsese right there. I still keep in touch with his second wife, but not as much as I used to. Her name is Lisa Caserta. Her brother was Clem Caserta. He was an actor. There's Frank Vincent. He was great. He was in The Sopranos too. Pesci. So that's Goodfellas. Great movie. Pretty fun digibook too. The next one is a classic. This was the easiest way to describe this. It was a different time, and that's all I can really say about it. It's a great movie. It was just a different time. obviously you can never get away with things like this these days. I'm not trying to cause controversy. I'm just trying to show you my collection. So this is Al Jolson in The Jazz Singer. This is a really nice digibook. It's really thick. It's a 3-disc set. You get a Blu-ray and 2 DVDs. This one came out in 1927, almost 100 years ago. And this digibook came out in 2012. I think I bought this at a Barnes & Noble. There's the Blu-ray. And the 2 DVDs are in the back. And look at how thick this book is. I like the way that they made it kind of look old-timey. They call it the Vitaphone Corporation, and it looks really cool. But back in 100 years ago, sometimes actors would use what they call blackface, and I'm not going to get any further into it than that. But Al Jolson was a great performer for his time. I truly believe he didn't mean anything by it. But unfortunately, history has made it into something it really was never in the first place. And we'll just leave it at that. But this is a piece of history here, film history. I think everybody should watch it at least once. And I think Al Jolson was a brilliant actor for his time. Let's see. So just wanted to kind of throw this in and show it. The next one is a movie that my brother and I watched when we were kids. We recorded it onto VHS tape off of HBO, and we watched it over and over and over. And this is the remake of Little Shop of Horrors, I believe, 1986, I'm going to say. Yep, 1986, and this digibook came out in 2012. This is a great movie. This is the director's cut, and another all-star cast. You got Rick Moranis, you got Steve Martin, you got John Candy, Ellen Green, Vincent Gardenia is in here as well. And this is such a great movie. They gave it a PG-13, but I really think this could easily be just PG. I think they got PG-13 because it's a, air quote again, man-eating plant, but it's, to me, it was more of like a kid's movie. It's a family movie, you know. I remember my dad watching it with us once or twice, and he was laughing at it. Steve Martin was kind of a wacko in here, but he was a great actor. This is a really fun movie. I haven't watched this in many, many years. You might recognize Tisha Campbell. She played in Martin Lawrence's show in the 90s, as well as, what was her name? Tishina Arnold. She also, the two on the left, or I'm sorry, the two on the right here, they played in the Martin sitcom in the early 90s. They were kind of a doo-wop trio in this movie. It's really good. Yeah, this is a really cool digibook, and it's a fun movie. If you've never seen this, I definitely recommend it. I'm sure a lot of you, probably most of you, have seen this many times, but this is one I haven't watched it in a while. I may have to revisit this again just for nostalgia. So these next two, these are the last two from the non-horror pile, but these were epic movies from my childhood. And both of these two movies that I'm going to show last here, we watched in the movie theater as a family. And I've watched this on every physical media form since it's been released. I watched it on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. I don't have it on 4K though, unfortunately, not yet anyway, but I definitely will add that as a 4K. But this is E.T., the extraterrestrial. This was a huge hit. 83? Oh, I can't read that. 82. Dang it, I was off by a year. I hate it when I'm off. 1982. There's the Blu-ray. I should have known it was 82. It bothers me. Look at a young Spielberg and a young Drew Barrymore. This was an amazing movie, watching this as a kid. John Williams did the score. Everything about this movie was fantastic. It hit every emotion. You know, you're kind of freaked out when you don't know what it is at first. You fall in love with the little guy, and then you're sad that he's leaving. And I mean, it's a really fun family movie. E.T. Phone Home. Look at, there's like a little design of it. Everybody loved that little guy. And this is a really nice digibook. You can see some of the poster art. I was hoping that they were going to show kind of a splash page of E.T. on the handlebars, as on the bike, as they're kind of floating in the sky. Oh, right there. I mean, I guess that's the most appropriate place to have it on the cover. And the last one, another epic movie from my childhood. I think this was 1984. I remember watching this in the theater. I remember Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters song was huge. It was always on the radio. We had a great time watching this in the movie theater as a family. 1984. This digibook came out in 2014. Now this is the Ghostbusters 1 and 2 digibook. I didn't see Ghostbusters 2 in the movie theater, but I have seen it before. But part 1 was excellent. That's another one that had really great characters. Slimer, he slimed me. That was, everybody was saying, quoting that line. Bill Murray was fantastic. Everybody in this movie was fantastic. Stay Puft, Marshmallow Man, Zool. See some of the character designs. I have to admit, the more recent, when they kind of tried to reboot it with the females, I liked it. I actually really liked it. I know there was a lot of people that hated it and they like really talked bad about it. I enjoyed it, and I own it, and I'm not afraid to say, or I'm not an apologist for it, but I really like the female version of it as well. Okay, so I made a little room. I got rid of those. I put them back. Now I'm gonna dive into this small pile. These are all digibooks that I have not opened yet. They're still sealed, but we're gonna open those today. And then I'll kind of count down some of my favorite covers if you're interested in that. The first one here is Phenomena, which is a Dario Argento movie. It's a great movie starring Jennifer Connelly. This was put out by XT Video, the uncut collector's edition on Blu-ray. I like the way it looks with that white cover. It's really good. And usually these are limited and numbered, but I don't see a number on the back of this one. can see Donald Pleasance right there. What in the hell is going on around here? And there's the young and beautiful Jennifer Connelly. This movie came out in 1985, I think. I may have to pause it and look. But the Digibook, the media book, came out in 2011. Let me pause it. We'll take the plastic off and I'll see if this came out in 1985. Yes, 1985. And we have the plastic off, so let's get into it here. Look at these things, are beautiful. These are too nice to have plastic on them. I used to feel like keeping the plastic on would kind of preserve it more. I didn't do it to try to flip it in the future. I didn't try to keep it sealed to make it worth more money, if that makes sense. I just tried to keep everything preserved. But I guess as I'm getting older, I just want to enjoy this stuff a little bit more. So why keep it in plastic, you know? So, I mean, this artwork is fantastic. You can't see it when it's wrapped up. I know it's not for everybody, and I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm only talking about for myself. And of course, this would all be in German. This is a German media book. There's an alternate title called Creepers. There's the very beautiful Jennifer Connelly. That's a very handsome woman. There's Mr. Argento, one of the best to ever do it. And so this is the Blu-ray. And okay, there was only one. I thought there was a disc in the front too. So it's just the one disc, it's a Blu-ray. Phenomena from 1985. Great movie. Next one was another movie that scared us as kids, even though I live in the state of Wisconsin. We don't have any oceans or sharks anywhere near the state of Wisconsin, other than maybe in a zoo. The Shed Aquarium in Chicago is probably the closest place where there's a shark to where I live right now, which is about an hour away from me. But growing up in Wisconsin and swimming in Lake Michigan, and even knowing as a kid that there's no sharks in Lake Michigan, we would still be afraid of sharks in Lake Michigan. That's how much of an effect it had on kids. This is the 1975 classic Jaws. This was the Digibook that came out in the UK. The one that came out in the US right at the same time, sold out right away. I didn't mind getting the UK edition of it. We're gonna take the plastic off right now though and check it out. So here's the little J card. We just took the plastic off, and it says here that it's comes with a collectible 44-page book. It has the very eyesore ratings logo, but on the Digibook it doesn't, and it looks exactly like the US edition. This is all the Blu-ray exclusives, bonus features, and stuff like that. I'll probably ditch this. I really don't need this. But let's take a look at this beauty. Universal 100th anniversary. Look at that monster. All those jaggedy teeth. This thing is like, it's literally brand new because it's been sealed. I don't want to crack it, but I just wanted to kind of get a I guess panoramic viewing here of it, if that's the proper term for that. See, that right there is horrifying, but that could be any body of water. That could be Lake Michigan, that could be the ocean. I guess kids have some pretty crazy imaginations. I know I did, and even though, like I said, we knew that there were no sharks. But every once in a while there would be a story about a shark that came up through like the Mississippi River or something and made its way into Lake Michigan. But Lake Michigan is a freshwater lake, and sharks would not survive. But it's a fun movie. It's a really cool digibook. This is my first time going through it. Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, Quint. I'm trying not to squeak the pages. That irks me when other people do it, so I'm trying not to do it. To me, it's like nails on a chalkboard. When people squeeze their fingers as they're turning a page and it just kind of crackles and squeaks, it really, ugh. It's like chewing on a washcloth or something. Another John Williams score too. Bruce the Shark. When I was a kid, we went to Universal Studios, and they had the Jaws ride, and that was pretty amazing. That was pretty fun. Really enjoyed it. Here's part of the monologue, part of the script, and here's some posters. I always love to see the different posters from around the world. Get my fingers out of the way. Look at that one. That one was a little more gruesome. It had some blood on the teeth. So that was Jaws, 1975. This next one, I've had this for a few years now. I still haven't opened it. This was a gift from filmmaker Jeff Wedding years ago, and I still hadn't watched it, and I remember him sending this to me. It looks like it's a really nice edition. It's called The Neon Demon, and you get a Blu-ray, 2 DVDs, and a CD soundtrack. I don't know why I didn't watch this yet. It's because I have a huge to watch pile. And I have a 3-day weekend this weekend. I'm off tomorrow, the 4th of July. By the way, happy 4th of July to all of my American friends who are watching. Hope you have a great weekend. Hopefully you're spending time with family, you're getting some good food, maybe you're gonna go watch some fireworks. Just be safe. It's a crazy ass world out there right now. Be very safe. Put out by Cook Media. This is a German edition. So let's take the plastic off and check it out. Wow, this is pretty cool. It looks way better with the plastic off. So here is, now I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know the characters' names or anything, but there's a young lady here, a character in the movie. And you got the spine. It looks really good. I like the way that neon blue looks against that black background. That's one of the Fanning girls, I know that. It's not Dakota Fanning, it's the sister. What was her name? Here, so we have the Blu-ray right there. We have a DVD. Let's take these out and see if there's any artwork in the back. This is the DVD. Cook Media is a really high quality company in Germany. I can't think of the other Fanning girl's name. Is it L? Is it L-E-L-L-E? There she is again. I think it's L-E-L-L-E, Fanning. Let's see if it says it in here. And this is all German, but her name would be spelled out, I think. But, oh, okay, we have to be careful what we show here. Jeez Louise. So I don't even really know what the premise of the movie is, but it looks like it has to deal with like necrophilia. I think we're going to end it here on that note, but Neon Demon, it looks like a cool movie. I may have to pop that in this weekend here. If anybody has seen it, let me know. Leave a comment. And this next one here, I haven't watched it yet either. This was, somebody reached out to me about a year or two ago. I don't remember who it was, but they asked me if I wanted to buy this for like really cheap. And I think I paid like $15 or $20 for this. It's a German media book called Holidays. It's a Christmas horror themed slasher movie. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo. It's uncut. This one has Seth Green in it. I think it's kind of a horror comedy, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. Yeah, there's Seth right there. Let me see. I think that's Seth Green. It doesn't show his name on the back. Kevin Smith is involved with this. The movie came out in 2016. I'm not going to watch this weekend, but I am going to put it in later this year for the holiday season. Let's take the plastic off and check it out. Okay, that was kind of cool. They switched it up a little bit. Took the plastic off, and this is the little card, and then it changes to a white cover. That's pretty cool. I don't know which one I like better. I may like the black one a little bit better, but what are you gonna do? I already looked at the back. Here's the Blu-ray. Nothing in the back. I should be careful. Is that Kevin Smith right there? He likes to wear those hockey jerseys. I don't remember who sold this to me. I think it was a viewer of the channel, but I don't remember. It was maybe, it might have been 2 or 3 years ago now. The way time is escaping me lately. 1 year, it seems like 1 year, but it's like 2 or 3 years ago. Again, if anybody has seen this, let me know. I'm looking forward to watching that during the holiday season. So now, I'm not sure how long we are into this video. You guys know because you're watching it now, but I have this chopped up into several parts, so I don't know exactly where I'm running at right now. But I'm gonna try not to spend too much time per title. So I'm gonna go from, these are all pretty cool, but I'm gonna go from like my least favorite, and then we're gonna end with my favorite. So, and just because I say it's my least favorite doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just the way I'm putting it for layman's terms. But this is Night of the Living Dead. This is a great movie, but this media book from Germany is probably not the best one I've ever seen. I mean, they probably could have put a little more detail into this or something, but not only is it very bland and plain, but they stuck the rating sticker. It's actually a sticker. And I've seen other people on YouTube videos try to peel that sticker off, and it peels off a portion of the art. So I left mine on there. But like I said, it's a great movie, but not the best design I've seen for a media book. But it's still fun to have. I'm glad I own this one. 1968. The next one is a Dario Argento movie called The Stendall Syndrome. And this is a 2-disc. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo put out by a company called X-Rated. That was just the name of the company, not the rating of the movie. This one had a soundtrack from Ennio Morricone, one of the best to ever do it. And Asia Argento is Dario Argento's daughter when she was just very young. She turned out to be a gorgeous young lady. She has her issues, but she's a beautiful, beautiful actress. And that was Stendall Syndrome. Next one is called Gutter Balls, filmed by Ryan Nicholson. And you can see that they kind of had a wink and a nod to the Exorcist cover. And this is I think this is a horror comedy. I have never seen this movie yet, but I know it's over the top gore from what I've heard. I've heard people rate this movie. I have to be really careful what I show here. I'm just going to keep moving, but I think this is a pretty cool cover. There's some things in here I probably shouldn't be showing on YouTube, so we're just going to go to the next one. Another Dario Argento movie called Inferno. This is a plain cover, but it's still effective. I like the way it looks. It has kind of a shiny finish to it. You can see that that creepy kind of a skull mask. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo. This one was put out by Cook Media. See the Cook Media logo there. And this is all German, so unfortunately I won't be able to read it, but maybe some of you read German. There's the Blu-ray and the DVD. There's a little pamphlet for some of the previous titles that they had in their catalog. I like to keep these. And it's got a little booklet inside. There's a printed autograph from Argento, which I actually have his real autograph right there on my Dawn of the Dead theatrical poster. It also has Tom Savini on it as well. But I'm pretty proud of that one. I'm not like I said before, I'm not really a starstruck or I'm not really an autograph hound, but there are certain ones that I think are pretty impressive, and I do have a few that I'm pretty proud of. And Argento definitely being one of those. So that is Inferno. Here is the OG monkey movie from 1933, King Kong. This is a great movie. I really loved the Peter Jackson remake too. I thought that was phenomenal. I like all King Kong movies. I think King Kong's great, but this is a great Digibook. You can probably get this for $10 or less, but this is definitely worth it. This is the Blu-ray Digibook. This was the US edition. There's the disc. This is Fay Ray. There's some really cool stuff in here. Like I said, I didn't really want to linger too much per book, but this one we may linger a little bit. I even like the more modern stuff like Kong, Skull Island. I think those are really, really good movies too. The next one is the 1958 movie Blob, or The Blob, starring Steve McQueen. This is the 58 movie, and 30 years later, in 1988, they had the remake, which most people, including myself, would say that the remake is actually superior to the original, but I do love the original too. And Steve McQueen was supposed to be a high school student in this movie, but And he certainly did not look like a high school student, but he was the beef of the time. He was the box office draw. He was the king of cool. They had to try to get him in these movies like this. He was a box office draw. So there's the remake right there, which is excellent. So that is the Blob, 1958. Next one is another holiday horror slasher. And I think this is probably the newest Digibook that I have in my collection. I may be wrong about that, but it's one of the newest ones. I got this last year, like right around last Christmas time. And I couldn't get through the movie because it was just, there was way too much cussing. And I know that sounds weird because I'm not a prude and cussing doesn't bother me at all. But for some reason in this movie, they say the F word like 3 or 4 times every sentence, and I'm not even exaggerating. And it was too much. It was distracting. I didn't get a chance to watch the movie all the way through, which is a shame because it looked like it was a pretty decent movie. But the dialogue and everything was just awful. It was just really bad. But I am going to have to try to get through this. I'm going to go through this again this coming up holiday season at the end of the year. Maybe I'll do a top 10 horror Christmas movie list or something. I'll try to do something this holiday season. Maybe I'll do like a 25 days of Christmas or something. I don't know. I have never done that before on the channel. I know there's a lot of people that do or have done it. I think maybe I'll do it this year. Check it out. You may see this again. Let me know if you've seen this and what you think of it. The next movie is a Italian slasher movie called a Giallo, and this is the German edition of The House with the Laughing Windows. This is put out by a company called 84 Entertainment in Germany, also in collaboration with CMV Laser Vision. Looks like they put it out together. And this is a pretty good Giallo film. It was limited to 777 pieces, and I got number 556. So these are pretty rare, but you can find them on secondary markets, though. And they're not as sought after as they used to be. Like 10 years ago, these things would go for like $100 a piece because they would sell out. And then there's scalpers and flippers, and people are just trying to take advantage of people. And when these came out, there was another product called hard boxes. I'm sure some of you guys remember hard boxes. And some of these companies like 84 Entertainment would sell them for $30 or $40 a piece, but then they would sell out. And people would put them on eBay for $150 a piece or $200 a piece. And that didn't last very long. Now you can get these pretty affordable. I mean, they're a little bit more than they were when they first came out, but you can probably find something like this for like 45, 50 bucks. The next one here, this is a little bit of schooling for some of you guys who don't know how some of the foreign markets kind of take advantage of Hollywood movies or just American movies in general. This is a movie called The Manson Family by a director called Jim Van Bebber. And this is a good movie. This is the ultimate uncut 3-disc edition that was put out in Germany. And I remember talking to Jim right after I bought this, and I showed it to him, and he said that he never gave anybody permission anywhere to release any of his movies, but in Germany they made this and they started selling it, and they were profiting from his work, and he was pretty upset about that, and rightfully so. I mean, but that's how they do it in Germany. So when you get these media books and digibooks and hard boxes, they're basically glorified bootlegs. And I try to explain that to people, and people don't want to listen to me. That's fine. But this was limited to 1,500. So basically, they ripped off Jim Van Beber and all of his work, and that's how they do it. But yeah, he wasn't very happy about it. And to be honest with you, because I didn't know that when I was telling him about this, and if I would have known that, I wouldn't have bought this. But now that I have it, I'm not going to get rid of it. Kind of a dilemma, I guess. But so there is the, what is that, the DVD, and here's the bonus disc. I think that's also a DVD. I'm not going to pull it out. So another weird thing about these German media books is they have, instead of having like a hub in the middle where you can kind of push the disc back on, they have these little skinny, they're like little prongs or like little arms, and they're so delicate that I'm afraid to pull them out, because if one of them breaks, that thing's going to be a flopper for, I mean, there's no way you can fix it. So, but anyway, that's the Manson family, and that's a little bit of movie history from Germany. The next one is called Amok Train. It was also called Beyond the Door 3. And this is a German media book. This is the uncut Blu-ray, limited edition. This was limited to 500, and I got cover B. I don't know how many covers they had for this one, but it was not uncommon for them to have, like, you know, cover A, B, C, and D, and then sometimes it would all be limited to 500, or some of them would be, you know, 500, 500, 300, 500, or something like that. They would mix it up a little bit, so one would be a little more rare than others. And of course, that would be sold out and then flipped for triple the price. But there's the Blu-ray. This is a pretty good movie. There's Beyond the Door 3. That's what we knew it as here in the US. This was actually a pretty good movie. I remember watching this one. Because even though the majority of the movie took place on a train, I don't know if you can tell by the background, but they had some really eerie, spooky background scenes outside. Dark, foggy, foreboding, just ominous. I would recommend this if you haven't seen it before. Check it out. The next one here is a Fulci movie called The Psychic here in the US. I think it was also called Seven Black Notes of Death or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but this is the 3-disc limited edition put out by 84 Entertainment. This one was limited to 2,000, so that's a pretty big number. They usually didn't have them that big, like 2,000's a lot. Usually the majority would be like just, like the highest number would be 1,000, but they would always try to keep it much smaller, like 500 or 666, or they would have weird numbers like that. But I got number 1280. You can see Jennifer O'Neill. She played in some Fulci movies. Let's take a look here at the cover a little bit more. If I can get that to focus for you there. It's pretty good artwork. Gianni Garco was in here too. He was in a lot of Italian movies. He was in spaghetti westerns. He was in horror movies and giallo. But that's the original poster there for The Psychic. This one has a hub in the middle. But even those are kind of dangerous. When you have the clear plastic like this, if one of those little like what do you call it? Spokes or sprockets or whatever the hell they're called. If one of them breaks, that disc is loose. This was a pretty good movie too. This one was kind of a slow burn, but Jennifer O'Neill kept it rolling pretty good. She kept it entertaining. She was a beautiful woman. And there's the DVD. That's the bonus materials, and then that's the DVD for the movie. Next one is another Fulci movie from 1990. And this one is called Nightmare Concert, but it was better known in the US as A Cat in the Brain. And this one was limited to $9.99. I got $3.20. This was put out by XT Video. That's their logo. You can see some of the still frames here. There's Fulci right there in the middle. This was one of his later movies. Fulci was definitely one of the best to ever do it. And he tried his hand at different genres. I mean, he did some fantasy movies, he did some Western movies, he did a couple giallo movies, but his forte were these kind of these dark gothic horror movies. And this little booklet was glued in here and it kind of came loose. So, but anyway, there's the Blu-ray and the DVD. I'll have to see if I can maybe fix that again. Nightmare Concert, A Cat in the Brain, 1990. This next one is called The Antichrist from 1974. This is a pretty good movie. This was put out by a company called Classics Illusions. Let's see if I can get this thing to start focusing a little bit better. I do have it recording in high def, 60 frames per second, so I'm not sure why it's not cooperating here with me, but you get a 23-page booklet. There's bonus materials and a trailer, and you get a Blu-ray and a DVD, if I didn't say that already. I like these kind of witchcraft or kind of Satan-themed movies. These are pretty fun. These were big in the 70s. So I would recommend this one. I think it's pretty fun. Okay, we're getting into the last stack here. So we got this many. So if you're still with me, thank you. I appreciate you hanging out with me. It means a lot to me. So the next one is Kujo, the Killer Saint Bernard, based on a Stephen King book. I don't really like this movie, and it's not because I'm a dog lover. I've been around dogs my whole life, and there's no such thing as a bad dog. It's only bad people, right? If you have a bad dog, if your dog is an asshole, it's because you're a fucking asshole and you don't treat your dog right. So, but even putting that aside, I just didn't think this was that great of a movie. But I never owned it before, and I figured if I am going to own it, I wanted to own it in my collection because it's a classic. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not a classic. I wanted to own it, and I wanted to have a decent copy of it, so I picked up this Blu-ray media book, and I may never watch this again, but it is in my collection. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo, and it's limited to 500, and I got number 279. I didn't mean to cuss. I apologize about that. I'm not going to cut it out, but I am going to try to not do that anymore. But sometimes things need to be said. And I think sometimes if you place a cuss word at the right spot, it kind of drives home the thought, right? So anyway, that's Kujo. I think it was, what was it, 83? 1983, did this come out? I don't know. But we're going to continue on. I think that cover looks cool, if anything else. To me, the cover is better than the movie. What did you think about Kujo? This next one, it's not a horror movie, but it is a fantasy themed, kind of a sci-fi movie. And this is another kind of a, I guess, more recent pickup for me as far as digibooks go. But this was over a year ago I bought this. This is called Wizards of the Lost Kingdom. Again, this is another one where the cover is better than the movie. I mean, that cover is amazing, but the movie itself was okay. It fell a little bit short. It came out around the time where there were movies like The Never-Ending Story and Willow and The Princess Bride. So this was, you know, definitely nowhere near the success of those movies, but you know, there's a little bit of a charm to it because it's lower budget, and I'm kind of a sucker for these type of movies anyway. You can see there how low budget it is, but you can see that the artwork and stuff is much better than, that was the magic of it, you know, the poster art or the DVD. Actually, it was back then, it was the VHS boxes. If you saw something like that on a VHS box or something like this, you're going to want to put that in your cart and take it with you. But if you saw something like this, or, I'm not saying that, you know, there's nothing wrong with them, it's just not as cool as this, right? So cover art was everything as far as advertising went for the success of VHS rentals. So anyway, let's keep moving. This next one was a gift to me from a fellow YouTuber and friend, Let Us Play. He sent this to me last year. I think it was around Christmas last year. He sent this to me. He contacted me and asked me if I ever heard of this movie, and I didn't. And he told me a little bit about it, but he didn't want to ruin the plot or anything. And he said that he thought I would enjoy it. And so he sent this to me. And he was right. I did enjoy it. I thought this was excellent. It's called Viking Vengeance. He told me that it was kind of like Skyrim. And he was not wrong. It's really cool. This is a 2-disc limited collector's edition, again called Viking Vengeance. And I thought the scenery, it's a short movie, and it's only, if I remember, there's only 2 actors. So there's this guy, he's a warrior, and then I don't want to give anything away in case any of you want to watch this, and I recommend it. His daughter, and I'm not going to say anything more, because if I say anything more, it'll ruin the movie. But he is trying to kill a monster, and I'm not going to give that away either. It's really cool, though. I don't know if they're going to show it in here, but the scenery in this movie is unbelievable. It's breathtaking. It's beautiful. I mean, the crunching of the snow, the wind, the forest, the dark hut with the fires, and just everything about this is really, really cool. If you like games like Skyrim, there's the monster. I don't want to say anything more because I'll end up giving it away. But this is definitely worthy of a watch, and I'm really proud to have this in my collection. So thanks again, Let Us Play. The next one is, this is an Australian monster movie called Charlie's Farm. And you can see here on the cover, they're kind of, well, what do you see when you look at the cover? You see Michael Myers, you see Freddy, you see Leatherface, you see Jason Voorhees. And he's kind of this backwoods slasher type guy. It's a very gory, over-the-top, violent movie. It's pretty fun. There's an infamous scene in here, and I'm not gonna recreate it or talk about it. It's all I will say is it involves, well, I better not, I'm not even gonna say that. There's something that really happens bad to a guy in his junk. I'll just leave it at that. But I've only watched this movie once. It's probably time for a revisit, but I do remember really liking this movie. He kind of reminds me of the Victor Crowley character, Charlie's Farm. This movie came out, I want to say, probably like 2015-ish, in that range. But anyway, it was limited to 1,666. I got 321. I'm not going to open up the book only because I think there's probably stuff I can't show in there. And I just wanted to kind of show you the cover. And I do recommend this. And I think it's high time that I check it out again. So here's another familiar name, Dario Argento. You probably can tell by now that I'm a big fan of Fulci and a big fan of Argento, and this is Tenebrae, put out by XT Video. This is the Blu-ray DVD combo, limited edition. That's an iconic cover. This is another great movie. This is one of Argento's more underrated movies, I think, anyway. Not too many people talk about it. I have to be careful because there's an image here on the back I can't show you already, but this was limited to 2,000. I got number 1,867. And this Digibook or media book from Germany came out in, what did it say, 2011? 2012. I have to kind of be careful. I'll just show you a couple pages. Okay, that's Tenebrae. I strongly recommend it. That's a great cover too. So these next three are the same exact movie, just three different covers. So I'm going to show them all together, just to save a little time. This is Suspiria by Dario Argento again. These were all put out by 84 Entertainment. This one was limited to 500, and I got number 229. This one was limited to 333, and I got number 45. And this one was kind of a deluxe edition. This one I actually pre-ordered, and it was limited to 4,350, and I got number 4,212. I'll just kind of quickly show you. This is a masterpiece here for Argento. I think a lot of people seem to agree with that. This is a very, it's almost a form of art, the way that he directed this with the different colors, and it's almost hard to describe, but you can see the different kind of the pastels and the neons and the shades and the bright colors, the dark colors and contrast. This is a really beautiful movie. This is not a movie, this is an event. This is a life event that you watch. I think everybody should watch this, whether you like horror movies or not. This is something that everybody should watch. They should teach this in film school. They probably do. I've never been to film school, but this is definitely one of the best movies ever filmed, I think. And it looks really, really good on 4K. I think it's actually the same. It's exactly the same on the inside of these two. But this one was more like a deluxe edition. So you get a Blu-ray, you get, what is that? This is the DVD. Was there also a CD soundtrack? Yep, the CD soundtrack and another DVD. That's bonus materials. So you get the movie on Blu-ray, you get the DVD Blu-ray, and then you get a DVD of bonus features and a CD for the soundtrack. And there's another fake signature, although that looks real, but it's not. It's just a print of what his signature looks like. I remember watching this on 4K not too long ago, about a year or two ago when it first came out on 4K. Up to that point, I hadn't really noticed a difference in the quality between Blu-ray and 4K. But when I watched Suspiria on 4K, and when the taxi was dropping the young lady off at the dance school, and it was raining, I've talked about this before, it was so clear that you can almost count the raindrops. I mean, it was unbelievable. Up until that point, I was not really a 4K believer, and still, I mean, there's a lot of times I can't really tell if it's 4K or Blu-ray. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you about that, but certain movies, The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings movies on 4K, they do look better to me. Suspiria looks really good on 4K too. So those are my 3 Suspiria media books. To save a little time, I guess we'll combine these next 2 as well. So we have Reanimator and Bride of Reanimator. And these are really cool media books. We'll start with Reanimator here. Look at that cover. Just look at that chartreuse against that black. That is something else. These were put out by a company called Cape Light. And these were a hot ticket when these came out. If you didn't pre-order these, you would almost have to sell a kidney to get these. And these are great movies too. I really love these movies. These are fun 80s horror movies. Dr. West. Look at that. There's the reagent. And that's the DVD, unrated. And what do we have here? The unrated Blu-ray. And that must be, that's another Blu-ray, but that must be like the theatrical version. I'm not sure. But you do get the unrated Blu-ray and the unrated DVD. And then here's The Bride. Another great cover. These were limited and they sold out on pre-order, but I don't remember what they were limited to, and they're not numbered. Take a look here at the spine. Man, these are nice. I like kind of going through this stuff just to kind of remind myself what I have, but here's the R-rated Blu-ray and the unrated Blu-ray. If you can see that there, R-rated and unrated. Not too many photos in this, but there's a lot of write-ups here. There you go. Now, the first one, Reanimator, I've seen that movie probably 50 times. But part 2, I've only seen this maybe a couple. So this is probably due for a rewatch. But there you have Bride. Next is another Fulci movie, and this is, it's hard to say, but this might be my second favorite Fulci. I do like zombie a lot, but I do like, this is the New York Ripper. And it's a weird movie, it's a slasher movie, and everybody has seen this by now. The killer calls up on the phone and he kind of quacks like a duck. It's weird, but it's a creepy movie. It's very violent. It takes place in old New York in the 80s. This might even be late 70s. I don't remember what year this came out. I'm thinking it was early 80s. 81, 82, 83, somewhere in there. But this is the Blu-ray DVD combo from XT Video. I love the movie. I love the cover on this. This was limited to 500, and I got number 227. This was released in the year 2012, so I'm gonna have to be careful. There's the disc. Yeah, this is probably one I shouldn't be showing. I'm not looking forward to these next couple of nights because as I'm recording this right now, it's 10 o'clock p.m. my time in the great state of Wisconsin. You can see that. But you probably could hear firecrackers and fireworks in the background earlier, these amateurs out here. And right now, these girls are fine. But they go crazy and they're so scared. They're afraid when they really start popping off. These dogs they go beside themselves. Next one is Trick or Treat. This is not to be confused with Trick or Treat, the anthology that came out, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. This is the one that has Gene Simmons from Kiss and Ozzy Osbourne from the 80s. This is the 3-disc limited collector's edition by a company called NSM Records. Take a look there at that logo. So what I should have done is they have kind of a calming hemp treat for dogs, and I should have ordered a couple from Amazon. It's like a natural herbal remedy to kind of calm dogs down, because right now they seem fine, but give it a couple hours when things really start popping off and these dogs are going to be all over the place, man. And it's upsetting to me. I don't like to see them like that. And I never used to mind fireworks, but now that I'm older, I'm the guy that's standing out on my porch, shaking my fist at the world. Get off my lawn. Quit banging off these fucking fireworks. I'm trying to sleep. Dogs are running around the house. This is kind of a weird movie, but it's fun though. This is a fun movie. Skippy from, what was that guy's name? Skippy from Family Ties. I forget his name. I didn't mean to do that. So here is the DVD, and here's the CD soundtrack. Look at it's even the actual compact disc. They probably robbed that too, and they probably ripped that off. There's the Blu-ray. They probably did not have permission to sell the soundtrack or the movie, but there it is, Trick or Treat. Okay, we have 4 more, including this one. So this is Fulci's The House by the Cemetery, XT video again, DVD, Blu-ray combo, limited edition, awesome cover. XT was on top of their game in this little era. This is probably 2012 again, 2013. So 2011, 12, and 13, XT was like at the top of the media book game. They were up there with 84 and XT, or there was a company called X-Rated, but they weren't around very long. But this one was limited to 1,000. I got 411. There's the Blu-ray. That's awesome. Really cool. Fulci was really good. These were the best movies that he made. These kind of gothic, put that cover there, poster. Dr. Freudenstein. There's the DVD. There you go. Next one is called Burial Ground. Another zombie movie. This one's really good. It's put out by a company called Illusions Unlimited Films in Germany. This was Media Book cover B. You can see there at the bottom. And it just says under 3,000. I'm not sure if that means that's how many were distributed. I don't know. This is a pretty fun movie though. Excellent art. Spanish title. All the different poster art, lobby cards. This movie kind of reminded me of like some of the Spanish horror movies, which I think are excellent, like some of the Blind Dead and stuff like that. I might have to pop this one in again and check it out again. I've seen this a couple times, but it's been a while. These lobby cards are really nice. You don't have to put a lot of money into makeup for zombies. I mean, to me, that's pretty effective. Here's the Blu-ray. Yep, that was the DVD. So that is Burial Ground. Here is Fulci's Zombie, also known in Germany as Voodoo, because they pronounce their W's as V, so that's Voodoo. XT Video again. 2012. This was limited to 1,500. I got number 812. I remember this one sold out immediately. I think there was a couple different covers for this one too. But this is a great movie. There's the DVD. Some poster art there. Really nice. Classic cover, VHS cover. Here's the DVD with bonus features and the Blu-ray. Oh, this is another one with these prongs. What a terrible design. And this one's probably my favorite. This is The Beyond, the Book of Avon. Comes in this kind of, I showed this several times, but I'm showing it again. Comes in this kind of like a fake leather book to make it look like it's an old beat up book that's in the movie. And I mean, this is a really, really nice padded media book. Stomach is growling. I'm gonna go eat some. I think I'm gonna make a hamburger after this. You probably hear my stomach growling. I haven't eaten since probably about 12:30 this afternoon, and it's after 10 p.m. So you guys didn't tune in to hear me complain about eating. Let's get through this video here. All right, so yeah, there's the DVD. I'm going to show you a couple bonus things before we end this video. So this one, unfortunately, is a really, really cool media book, but I got dinged one time for showing this because YouTube said I was promoting pornography, which I certainly was not. So I took a piece of paper and I covered up a certain image that you can't see here, but I wanted to kind of show you some of the other artwork. This is called Della More, which is called The Cemetery Man. And this is a really nice edition put out by 84 Entertainment. I'm gonna switch this over. We can see here on the back, there's really not a whole lot going on. This is another one that sold out instantly. It was limited to $9.99. I got number 29. And this thing was going for big bucks. If you didn't get it right away, then yeah, you had to pay a lot of money for it. So I'm not sure how much I can show you. we'll end it there, but this is a really cool edition. So I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna show you two more things really quick and then we'll end it. These are the last two I'm gonna show, and I'm just gonna briefly talk about them because I did do unboxings of both of these on the channel before. And we're still here. We're getting ready to go get something to eat. But these were German, what did they call these? They called them, they weren't media books. Leather books, I think they were calling them, because these are really leather. It's real leather. This is Suspiria. I think these were put out by 84 Entertainment. They were. You can see the logo there at the top. But this is the Suspiria Blu-ray. These were ultra limited, and this was Don't Torture a Duckling. So this is a Dario Argento movie. This is a Fulci movie, Don't Torture a Duckling. I just wanted to show these really quick, and these are beautiful, really nice editions. Now they're not exactly media books, but these are called leather books, and I just wanted to kind of add it to this video. So we're going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know this was really long. If you made it through, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to think what you can put. If you made it all the way through, leave a comment, hashtag fireworks, I don't know. Or leave any comment you want, but I appreciate you watching and hanging out with me for a little bit. Hopefully I gave you some ideas of something to pick up, and if you have any suggestions for me, just leave those below as well. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.